Hey guys, what's up? It's me, David here. So, just a couple of minutes ago, I got off from a call with Amaan Islam. Now, if you don't know who Amaan is, he is a YouTuber who gives young men a lot of beneficial advice on how you can improve your life and how you can improve certain situations in your life. So, me and Aman had a 1 hour call with each other and we were discussing very interesting topics. So, yeah, it was definitely a very good chat that we had. I'm going to leave his channel link in the description below. He's got at least more than 3,000 subscribers. So, if you guys would like to give his channel a watch, I would highly recommend that you do so. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. It was a very long chat. It was quite a long chat, and I had so much fun talking to Aman. So, yeah, I hope you have fun watching and listening. All right. Yeah, so I know you're on monk mode at the moment, right? Is it your third month on monk mode or second?
Yeah, about so. Third month now.
Yeah. Yeah, so what kind of things are you implementing within monk mode? Because I know you had a whole list of protocols to follow, right? So like what are you doing right now when it comes to that?
Right now, definitely is prioritizing what's going to move the needle forward in terms of achieving the goals that you want to achieve, right?
Mm.
So, if your goal is to like improve your mental health, because I know a lot of people are struggling with mental health nowadays. Well, you want to improve your mental health, but you spend all your time doing activities that are going to make your mental health worse. Well,
Mm.
then is that really like helping you in any sort of way?
No.
No. And so you really want to figure out what your goals are, because people, I made this mistake too, where the first time I entered monk mode, I just assumed that, okay, I'm going to enter monk mode and I'm just going to grind self improvement and try to become a better version of myself. But when you enter monk mode and you don't have a goal, you just end up spinning the wheel in place and you never end up actually getting anywhere.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because you need some type of goal to work towards, right? You need to have an ambition. You need to have something in mind so you can work towards that. Otherwise, if you're working on something, working on improving yourself, like aimlessly, then you're not really going to know. You're going to be left in the dark, basically. You're going to be a bit confused and bewildered as to what to do next. And you're going to be like in a state of confusion and you're going to be very lost when it comes to that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be kind of meaningless. But I mean, like, what is one of the fastest ways that you can achieve your goals? Because I know there is a lot of ways, like, you can obviously utilize the negative energy that you have inside within you with with this feeling of inadequacy that you feel about your current situation. And there's also a lot of other things which I know people do, but like, what are some of the things that you would suggest for me to do to achieve my goals much more faster? Like, how can I do that?
Have you heard of dopamine detoxing?
Yes, I have. Yeah, a lot of the time. Yeah, all the time when you go onto
Yeah.
YouTube, there's loads of dopamine detox videos. If you scroll through, there's so many.
Everyone, I think everybody knows what dopamine is at this point,
Yeah,
and
your camera's
the
frozen, by the
reason
way.
why it's so effective. So I think when we think of dopamine detoxing, our first instinct is to get rid of all the dopamine, get rid of everything that makes our brain want instant gratification.
Mm,
But I think rather than getting rid of everything,
yeah.
it would probably be better for you to use dopamine as a motivation, because that's what dopamine really is. It's
Mm,
not that dopamine gives you pleasure. Dopamine is responsible for motivating you to chase after what you want. And so when you're eliminating distractions, you eliminate social media, you eliminate video games, you eliminate, I don't know, drugs, going out, wasting time. What ends up happening is that when you've eliminated all these other sources of dopamine that motivate you to do stuff, you're naturally going to want to go and chase after your goals, because like that's the only thing that's giving you pleasure. It's the only thing that's actually giving you joy. And that's really why dopamine detoxing is so crucial for you to actually go and chase after what you want. Now, I think what ends up happening though is that a lot of people take it a step too far, and they'll see monk mode, they'll see dopamine detoxing, and they'll just isolate themselves at home. They'll feel like, oh, I'm on self-improvement, guys. I'm going to stay home in my room all day for 8 hours, and I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to read, I'm going to journal, I'm going to do all these things. I'm not going to interact with people because that's dopamine. Like, you kind of have to actually be a human being and talk to people while you're on monk mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I suppose I have a bit of a realization there now, because I was thinking that it would be so beneficial if I was to actually limit my contact with people, because every time that I speak to people I get this like dopamine release because I love it so much. Like I love speaking to people, like I'm a social butterfly, very extroverted, and so I was thinking that I should limit the contact that I have with people because yeah, as I did say, I get that adrenaline rush and I get that dopamine hit every time that I speak to people. And then it makes me slack off the work that I'm doing. It makes me get in a state of complacency and comfort because I get so happy. And when I get happy, I don't feel like doing work. I just feel like mucking around, procrastinating, and just not really working hard towards achieving my goals. So, so what would you say in that instance, in that situation? Would you say that you should limit your contact with people if it gives you so much dopamine, or should you just have like a fair share of it? Like, what would you say in that situation?
It depends on how extreme you want to get into it.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely a spectrum, and the more extreme you are, the more results you get. But everyone has like a different level of a minimum dose, essentially, how much time they need to spend with people before they start becoming all weird, before they become all like a hermit. And for some people, that might literally be once a week. You're going out, you're spending time with friends, and then I assume you're seeing your family like every day. And so for some people that works. For other people, they actually need to spend time with people like at least a few times a day, a few times a week. So in that instance, like you, for example, I'm pretty sure like one time a week probably wouldn't work out for you, would it? Like you'd probably be much better off like going and seeing your friends maybe like a few times a week.
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure. I feel like maybe once a week would be okay for me. I feel like.
Definitely try it out.
Yeah.
Because if once a week works, then that's fine. Like it works for you, then you know like everything's perfect. But if it doesn't work, maybe you do need that additional like few days to spend time with people. What I would do is prioritize your work. So that way you basically set a rule for yourself that I'm only able to see my friends if I get all my work done for the day. That way you're not using it as an excuse, you're actually using it as motivation.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a dopamine reward system in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I quite like that idea because, yeah, whenever I do hang around with a lot of people, I do tend to slack off my work. So I'll definitely be keeping that in mind for the future. But but yeah, I mean, how how do I ensure that I, because it is quite easy to slack off the work. It is quite easy to put it off. So what do I do to ensure that I don't procrastinate? Like how could I not procrastinate, or just how can I eliminate that from from my schedule or from my day, like procrastination? Like, how do I deal with that when I really feel the urge to scroll on social media, waste time on TikTok and Instagram? Like, how do I stop myself from procrastinating?
Well, you gotta ask yourself, why are you procrastinating?
Mm,
Is there a particular reason why you end up going on social media rather than doing your work?
yeah. Mm,
Usually, you don't even go on social media consciously.
yeah.
How many times have you been just holding your phone in your hand and you just automatically, like you're on autopilot, you go on Instagram, or like you close out of Instagram and then 2 seconds later you swipe again onto Instagram and open the same app? I've had that happen so many times.
Yeah.
And you you have to be conscious of it. You have to, meditating really helps to be aware of like the actions you're doing. That way you're not just mindlessly ending up on your phone when you know you shouldn't be on your phone.
Mm. Yeah. So mindfulness, just basically being present in the moment, right? That's what you suggest is going to be most beneficial in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, are you checking your phone when you wake up in the morning?
Oh, um, like I take it off charge, and then yeah, I always see notifications. I always see notifications on my phone. I always get messages the night before when I wake up to them. So it's always messages.
Yeah. If you once
Yeah.
you see those notifications, if that's the first thing you look at in the morning, your motivation to do your work will instantly drop like
Mm.
a big significant amount, just because now you have it in the back of your head. Oh, there's all these messages, all these notifications. If I respond to them, if I see what that is, then it's a lot more quick and enjoyable than sitting down and doing my work.
Mm.
So you're literally shooting yourself in the foot by opening your phone right in, as soon as you wake up.
Yeah. Mm. I know that is a very detrimental thing because like you see the notifications and then it takes you like maybe 5 or I don't know 2 minutes to reply to all of the messages, and then you get in this dopamine cycle, this unhelpful dopamine cycle, and then you keep checking all the other apps, and now you find that you've lost at least an hour of your day just checking social media and wasting time scrolling. So yeah. So would you suggest like getting maybe an alarm clock? Because my phone, I mean, I don't spend an hour scrolling on social media, but I know I was just making that reference to other people. But I use an alarm clock on my phone to wake up in the morning, and maybe that's not the best idea because when I do turn it off, all of the notifications they appear on the screen. So maybe getting an alarm clock would be much better of an alternative, right? Yeah,
You could.
yeah,
What I personally do is I don't have my phone with me when I'm sleeping.
mm.
So when the alarm goes off, I have to get out of bed, go into the next room to turn my phone off. So I'm already out of bed,
Oh, that's quite clever.
and I don't have notifications set up on my phone.
Yeah,
So whatever, the way I see it is that you don't want your phone to be taking your attention away from you. You want to give it attention when you feel like giving it attention.
mm.
And so whenever all these notifications pop up that demand your attention, you're just giving it away for them. You're just giving it away for free.
Yeah,
So once you turn the notifications off, you make it clear to yourself that you'll check the messages when you feel like checking messages, not just because like they just end up popping up or whatever.
yeah. And I've also learnt about this Alex Hormozi protocol, which is called the season of no. So you basically have to be very selfish with your time and you prioritize your time with particular things. So if it's the work it's mostly hard work that is the most beneficial thing, right? Towards our upward trajectory is the hard work, and all of these other things like maybe socializing and answering messages and going to social events, those are all no situations. So basically, what he does is he chooses to spend his time productively on the hard work, and he says no to all of the other things which people may get disappointed with. But it's the thing that you have to do. I know undoubtedly and unequivocally it's the thing that you have to do if you want to make that forward momentum when it comes to your self-improvement journey and just overall working towards achieving your goals. So yeah, have you heard of that actually? The 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝘀 protocol, the season of no. Well,
I've heard of it.
yeah.
You end up, like I said, with the monk mode, you can end up taking it too far.
Yeah.
Where you end up having no life.
Mm.
So it is crucial for you to do the work, because that's, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's going to move you forward.
Yeah.
If you think of every successful person, every single one of them has something that you might see it as unproductive, but without it, they wouldn't have actually been able to be productive.
Mm.
𝗧𝗏 he would watch Netflix every night, and he still became successful. Amaan Islam would drink every I don't know if it's a couple of days. I don't want to spread misinformation, but I know he would drink even though he's grinding. Other people, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know people who they'll partake in, I don't know, unproductive habits, but the only thing that's actually concurrent with everyone is that they know when to do the work, when they're supposed to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So that's definitely the most important part.
Yeah. It definitely is the most imperative thing. It's the most substantial thing that is actually going to help you in life is to just do the work. And yeah, I know with a lot of celebrities, they do a lot of degenerate habits like maybe smoking weed or doing drugs or drinking, partying, all of these other things, but they're still successful. So, and you think to yourself, why is that? Why is that? Um, but yeah, they just know when to put in the hard work. But yeah, I want to go back to monk mode and the side effects it can have on you when you're not necessarily socializing with people, because I know it is a very it's a good thing to socialize with people. It's what us humans need to do. We need to thrive, multiply. That's what we're put on this world to do, is to socialize with people. So let's say someone let's call this person Jack, right? Jack has gone on monk mode for at least a year. He hasn't spoken to people. He rarely goes out of his house. The only time he does go out of his house is maybe to go to the shops, something like that, go food shopping, and then he comes back into his home. He meditates and he does all the self-improvement habits in his room or whatever, goes to the gym, and he hardly speaks to anybody. Do you think a year later, without having that social interaction, that it's going to affect the way that he's able to socialize with people in a year's time? Do you feel like it's going to affect that?
100%.
Mm.
It's the same way with if you go to the gym consistently.
Yeah.
And you're eating properly, you're hitting your macros consistently, you're making gains consistently, and then all of a sudden you decide to take 1 year off from the gym. Are you going to keep all of your gains?
Nah.
You might have some of it. You might have 10%, 20%, but you're going to lose almost all your gains. And the only way for you to get it back is by going back to the gym.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah. Because, yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, you can't expect to just go to the gym once and then, you have a six pack. No, you have to keep working hard consistently towards getting it. basically.
Exactly.
But yeah.
A lot of people will say that they don't know how to socialize or they're terrible at socializing. But then you ask them, okay, how many people have you talked to this week? And they're like, oh, well, I talked to my coworker yesterday and I talked to my mom today. Like, they're not even talking to people and they're saying that they have terrible social skills. Well, of course you have terrible social skills because you don't talk to anybody.
Exactly. This is the thing. Like, people complain about the issues that they've caused themselves. They complain about like being overweight, but they're not going to the gym. They're not working hard on their physique or exercising in any way. They complain about having health issues, but they've caused those health issues because they're eating unhealthily. They complain about the fact that they haven't got a girlfriend or they're not that attractive. Well, what have you actually done to work hard towards achieving those things? Nothing. Nothing. They haven't done anything. So I don't see the point in complaining about it when you can just do the hard work and actually try to achieve something better than you currently are experiencing. Work towards becoming better instead of complaining about it, right, Amaan?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that topic, I know that a lot of people complain about, oh, they can't get a girlfriend or stuff, or, a lot of guys in today's modern day society. I know a lot of people at the college that I go to, a lot of the males. I would say like 90% of the males at my college, they find it really hard to ask a girl out or just to talk to a girl to try and rizz a girl up, right? To try and rizz a girl up. So why do you guys have that issue for? Like why is it so like stigmatized or just so unachievable for guys to do? Why is it such an impossible task or thing for guys to get a girlfriend?
I guess they just never done it before.
Yeah.
And so whenever you do something for the first time, it's always going to be scary.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys just end up staying there. They never actually push themselves to even try.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Well, can does it? Some guys, they make excuses. They say, "Oh, their hair is messed up, or they've got acne, or their body's unattractive." But I know undoubtedly that sometimes that's not necessarily the case. Like, it's not the thing that matters to the woman, because sometimes the attractive women, they actually do go for unattractive guys. So I don't necessarily think it's a case of always the looks, but I know it is a beneficial factor having high SMV when it comes to the dating scene. But I know for a lot of times, I know a lot of the time it doesn't come down to looks, but more personality or just having that charisma, having that belief and confidence as a man in yourself that you can attract girls. But from a personal point of view, Aman, what would you say about that? Like, do you think looks matter when it comes to dating, when it comes to attracting girls? Because I know a lot of guys, unattractive guys, they can get attractive girls. So, yeah, what would you say about that?
They do play a role,
Mm,
but if you're only relying on your looks, you're not going to get anywhere.
nah.
Because let's think about this analogy real quick.
Yeah.
If you have a attractive dude, but he doesn't know how to talk to people, doesn't know how to talk to girls, would he be more successful at getting a girl's number than some dude who's not as attractive, but he knows how to talk to girls because he's talked to thousands of girls in his life?
No.
It's going to be the second one.
Yeah, it's going to be the second
Because
one.
you can make as many excuses as you want. You could say that girls don't like short guys, but how many short guys have you seen get girls? You could say, oh, I'm overweight, so they're not going to like me. Well, how many overweight dudes have you seen who get girls?
Exactly.
I'm brown skin. Well, how many other brown skin dudes do you see who get girls?
Exactly.
There's literally no excuse. You just come up with excuses because you don't want to do the work.
Yeah, no excuses. No excuses, man. You're just bitching out. Basically. Yeah, they're just bitching out. So, Yeah, no excuses. I mean, it's like it's kind of like saying, "Oh, I come from a poor background. I'm from, so and so. I'm from this country, so that means that I can't get opportunities. I'm from India or wherever, and I can't. I just can't get a good high paying salary." But actually, I think it just mainly comes down to self-limiting beliefs in a way. Because once you have self-limiting beliefs, that totally limits the whole trajectory of your life and what you're capable of doing. It's like an obstacle in the way, like a barrier or like a wall that's constantly there, and it's stopping you from reaching the other side of your potential. So, yeah, I feel like one of the second most important factors is just overcoming those self-limiting beliefs in a way. Because once you develop that confidence, anything's possible. Anything.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You don't even realize how much you're holding yourself back until you start breaking apart all these beliefs you have about yourself.
Mm.
There was a time when I remember I used to think that like brown people weren't attractive
Yeah.
just because I've grown up seeing that the standard is being white. Basically, like if you're white, you get girls. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm fucked. I can't get girls now because I'm not white. But there was the One Direction
Mm.
started popping up, and there's one member of them, which was Zayn Malik,
Yes.
and Zayn Malik is brown too, and he started getting girls. He started like people. He became like one of the most popular person in the world, and he's Pakistani. And I'm like, wait, he's getting girls, and he's brown like me. So me being brown has nothing to do with not being able to get girls. It's just I just suck at it.
Mm.
So you don't even realize how many beliefs you have until like it's right in front of you, and it just makes you look stupid.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah. Basically. A lot of people have beliefs that, oh, if I go outside, I'm going to get stabbed. No. Or because in the UK, there's a lot of knife crime issues happening. So people are often very scared to go into certain areas. They think they're going to get stabbed. So they have this like very fearful way of looking at life. Um, Another thing is that, oh, uh, girls only like guys who are 6'1". That's a common one, right? That's a common self-limiting belief. Yeah, they like guys who are like 6 foot or like over 5 feet or whatever. Um, or what's another one? Um, that I don't know. Like I've got to have a six pack or whatever to attract a girl. I've got to be like a massive bodybuilder or something like that. That's what girls like. But actually, once you start to break these down, once you
I gotta
start,
have like a million followers.
oh yeah, that's another one. I've got to have 1 million followers, or yeah, I've got to have a nice big mansion. Otherwise, she won't date me or whatever. Yeah. So I feel like once you start to eradicate all of these self-limiting beliefs one by one, I feel like it can be so liberating in a way because it will help you to live the life that you want. Because I know it certainly has done that for me.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, man. But yeah, I I know that when you finally do start to overcome those self-limiting beliefs, especially when it comes to money as well. Because oh yeah, that's one of the most common ones. Money doesn't go on trees. Like, oh, we can't do that. Like, that's just not who we are. Like, we will never like families would say that. Like, that's not where we come from. Like, that's not who we are. We're not rich or successful or anything like that. It's hard to achieve those things. So that's one self-limiting belief. And once you eradicate that, you can become successful when it comes to being wealthy. So um, there are multiple methods of becoming wealthy, whether it be trading, because I know one of my friends is doing that, whether it be content creation, so on and so forth. There's multiple ways, but how would you how would you become really wealthy? Like how do you create generational wealth? Do you know how to do that, Aman? Or what would your answer be towards that? Like creating generational wealth?
I think what I would suggest is you don't want to diversify your income in the beginning.
Mm.
I know a lot of people will think, oh, well, I need to have eight streams of income, right? I need my passive income, I need my active income, I need to get income from my stock market, I need money from the houses that are being leased. So people will start thinking, I need like all these sources of income to build generational wealth. But really, you only need one. You go super hard on that one, and once you've actually like created a steady stream of profit, then you can start like moving on to other things, on moving on to like investing your money to make it grow, rather than trying to like spread yourself thin in the beginning, because all you're doing is you're spreading your resources out into multiple what's the word? You're spreading your money out when you could have used that money and invested into like just one thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how if you want to be a bodybuilder, but you also want to be a pro footballer, but you also want to be a pro boxer, how are you going to do all of them at the same time?
You just can't.
You really can't. You could choose one, might become a bodybuilder. Once you have the body you like, okay, now you might decide to become a footballer. Okay, now that you're a good footballer and you still have a decent physique, maybe now you can start boxing for fun. But if you try doing all of it at the same time, like you're not going to get anywhere.
No. Yeah, so it just mainly comes down to focusing on one thing at a time, taking it one step at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when it does come to building generational wealth, I know a lot of people, they may not know where to start from. Like this, start from the bottom, now we're here. The Drake song. You have to start from the bottom to get all the way to the top. So like, where like where do people start to begin with? Like, where do people start with that?
It sounds messed up, especially since I made a video about how much I hate it. But you're gonna have to get a job.
Yeah.
If you need the money that bad, the fastest way for you to actually get the money is just working. And I know, like, if you don't want to be constricted to like a workplace, you could do something that doesn't require you that doesn't give you like, it gives you autonomy over your freedom. I mean, over your schedule, like, I don't know, doing DoorDash or something. But get a job that lets you get money, and if you're able to work on whatever you want to work on the side, then do that. If you're on content creation, you don't need a ton of money for content creation, so you can work your job while you're doing your content creation on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so mostly just getting a job, even though it may be uncomfortable, even though you may not like it, you will have to do it at the start. But then when is it going to end? Having to do the most unpleasant.
Did you read that? You cut out.
Yeah. So basically, what I said was doing that job that you dislike. It's very, dissatisfying to you. Where would the cut off line be for that?
For working at the job?
Yeah, for working at the job, where would the cut off line be?
Or
for doing something so unsatisfactory to you, dissatisfying? Like, where would the cutoff line be?
Once you stop, once you start being complacent, because you can work at the job. If you hate the job so much, you're going to find a way to quit the job, and you'll either quit by just quitting, which you're probably not going to do if you need the money, or you'll quit by having your side hustle take over as like your primary source of income. What ends up happening is that you end up getting complacent at your job. You actually start enjoying your job, and you get comfortable with it. You get comfortable with, oh, I make this much money from my work. I probably don't even need to become financially free because I'm fine like where I am right now. Once you start adopting that mindset, your dreams end up going down the toilet.
Mm. Yeah.
So you kind of have to be a little bit dissatisfied just in order for you to chase after your dreams.
Mm. Yeah, that is very true. Because I know for 90% of the population, it's actually a growing epidemic to be average. It's a growing epidemic to strive towards the things that everyone else has, like working the 9 to 5, paying off the mortgage, paying off debts or university fees, and all of the other things that average normal people are doing in today's modern day society. And yeah, it can get quite easily to slip into that rabbit hole of becoming an average person. But I know for a lot of people, they, or a few people, or you know, mainly the majority of individuals on self improvement, they don't want to be average. They don't want to be mediocre because they know that life isn't destined for them. Maybe destined for other people, but not for these people because they're very ambitious. So, I mean, it can get quite easy to slip into that rabbit hole. But like, how do you ensure that you're not average? How do you ensure that you're not mediocre, or just like everyone else, scrolling on TikTok, masturbating, watching pornography, not living a happy life? Maybe, you know, the divorce rates are they're skyrocketing. Like, how can you ensure that you're not an average person in an average society?
The fact that you acknowledge that you're not average is what's going to set you apart from everyone else. Because the average person isn't thinking that there's a problem. They don't think that working 9 to 5 is a problem. They don't think that divorce rates are a problem. They don't see these as a problem. They just see it as normal. Like, this is the world we live in and we just deal with it. It is what it is, right?
Mm.
So for you to reject that, for you to say, no, I'm not going to watch porn. I'm not going to eat a whole bunch of processed junk. I'm not going to get into a relationship just to get divorced. I'm not going to work at this shitty job the rest of my life. I'm going to make more of myself. Well, then that's when you start being above average.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that is.
And I think that's also another crucial point is that you have to surround yourself with people who also think like you. Because if you surround yourself with people who don't think like you surround yourself with people who think you're crazy for wanting to chase after big dreams, chase after your goals, you're going to you're going to doubt yourself thinking, maybe I am kind of delusional. Maybe I should just do what everyone else is doing because like I'm thinking like these giant, grandiose visions, but it's probably just like a fantasy in my head.
Mm.
And then 2, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
So if you're up here and all the people you surround yourself are at this level, you're going to come down here. But you're going to be just like them too if you surround yourself with them.
Yeah. undoubtedly, you will be. Yeah, I like that actually. You are the 5% of the people you hang around with because it actually is true. But I know there is a little tactic that you can use actually, and you have talked about it in one of your videos, is use this negative energy inside of you, use this pent up negative energy that you have towards achieving your goals. Like, you acknowledge the fact that you know, maybe your physique isn't good enough, or maybe you're not making enough money, or maybe you're not where you want to be in life. You acknowledge your inadequacies, and then you use this negativity, this dissatisfaction that you have within yourself towards achieving your goals. So that's one way that you can utilize your negative energy. But where there must be a point where it gets really alarming, like maybe it gets a bit disconcerting in a way where it can actually have catastrophic results. So like, at what stage does it get unhealthy to utilize this negative energy that you have inside of you towards achieving your goals? At what stage can it get really bad, or unhealthy? Can it ever get unhealthy, do you think?
It can,
Yeah.
and it's definitely difficult
Mm.
because where do you even draw the line?
Yeah.
It varies from person to person. One person could be completely fine with literally destroying everything in their path just to get their goals, just to get what they want in life. Whereas some people might actually, they might feel that same level of resentment for the world, but they can't do the world dirty the way the world did them dirty.
Mm.
So it's definitely subjective. It depends on the person, really.
Mm.
If you're, I will say though, if you're harming people, like not just like physically harming them, but you're like mentally, emotionally harming people, then that's like a problem because at that point it's not just your own lives you're messing with the lives of other people too.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I actually, with what you said about harming people, I know as a man, as a stoic man, you have to control your emotions. You have to keep your emotions in check so that you don't make those mistakes of harming people or doing things that you regret, like maybe saying something really malicious or cantankerous, or getting into fights or doing all these other things. So I know that we're all going to get prone to anger at some stage in our lives, Aman. It's just inevitable. So yeah, how do you properly control your emotions as a man so that you don't do things that you regret?
You have to find a way to um, express it in a healthy way.
Mm.
If you get angry and you want to punch a wall, well, I mean, instead of punching a wall, why don't you go for a run or something, go work out or something? Because it's the same thing. You're just releasing that energy. You're just doing it in a healthier way. Now, if you're in a situation where you're not able to do that because you're like face to face with some dude who's harassing you and he won't leave you alone, and
Yeah.
you know you can't beat him up because if you beat him up, you're gonna go to jail.
Mm.
So at that point, you would definitely need to contain it, like probably the more difficult part of it,
Mm.
because it's easy to express it, easy to let out that anger, but to be able to contain it and not act out on it is the crucial point.
Mm. Yeah. Um, there is a saying actually. that I have heard from someone. They said that a man who cannot control his emotions is like, I think it's like a city um without any gates, or yeah, I think something along the lines of that. But basically what I'm trying to say is that a man who cannot control his emotions is very weak, because he is like he's sort of like a prisoner, or he's just very submissive to his own mind, so he cannot control his own mind. But one thing I do know is that there was an Andrew Tate podcast actually, and he said something along the lines of, if you can't control your brain, it's basically like a feather in the wind, going from one direction to the other, from happy place to sad place, from happy place to sad place. So, so yeah, I know that obviously we are prone to feeling a lot of emotions, because life is like a roller coaster, it goes up and down, right? So society tends
But
to,
also,
yeah.
you should also, you ever think about how whenever we feel an emotion,
Mm,
our initial response is to try to stop feeling it.
yeah,
If we feel angry, our reaction to feeling angry is to stop feeling angry.
yeah.
When we feel sad, our reaction to feeling sad is to stop feeling sad.
Mm,
But when we're happy, nobody says stop feeling happy. Nobody says stop feeling joy.
exactly. Yeah.
I think when you're happy, you're more motivated to do stuff.
Mm,
When you're excited, you're more motivated to do stuff. So why not use that same principle and apply it to the other emotions? Use your anger as motivation. You don't have to necessarily control it and forget about it, but control it and use it for something beneficial.
mm, yeah. Yeah, because it's like fuel in a way, isn't it? It's like putting fuel into a tank, and sometimes we need that fuel, that anger, that depression, that sadness, that happiness towards achieving our goals. And that's like fuel for us, isn't it? Like to work hard at the gym, like to, you know, do a couple more reps, or to just like cram in so much that you can into that essay. Yeah, because I know it is such a beneficial thing to use those emotions as kind of like an outlet, or you would do something because of those emotions that has driven you to do it. But I know that yeah, actually worth saying that it's seen as something that you should suppress if it's a negative emotion, if it's anger, something like that. So the question that I want to ask you is, correlating to that, is vulnerability seen as a weakness in men in today's modern day society? Do you feel like being weak as a man, or not being weak, but just being vulnerable, being open, is a sign of weakness in a man?
It depends on the context of it.
Mm,
If you're if your girl cheats on you and you start crying on social media about it, then there's no reason for you to do that at all as a man.
mm,
If it's like
that's true.
something more of the lines of like your family got killed,
Mm. Bit extreme, but yeah,
you
we're going with it.
okay, like I know
No,
it's
it's all right. We'll go with
extreme,
it. We'll
but
go
I'm
with it.
trying to make a point.
No, we'll go with
Your
it.
family
It's
gets
good.
killed. Your family gets killed,
Yeah.
but you won't let it stop you from like achieving your goals, and you somehow made $1 million that same month.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might like post onto social media that like I just hit my biggest milestone, but I feel empty because my family all died. That okay, it's like understandable because your family's dead, but you're not out there crying.
Mm.
It's a weird example, but it's like the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. You know, this is a uncensored little corner here. We're not gonna have any censorship, so yeah, it's a good thing, man, that you're expressing that. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying because like people in this country, in such a privileged country, people still have things to complain about. Like, they complain that their phone battery has died, or they complain about not getting the latest console or the nice, like the newest pair of shoes or whatever. But then there's other people out there who are going through much worse than you, but they're not complaining about it. They are actually appreciative that they've got at least something. And yeah, I just find it very disgraceful how you can complain about not having an iPhone or some other type of materialistic possession, but you've got a bed to sleep in. You open your eyes every morning, and those are two of your gifts already. Just the fact that you can open your eyes up is a blessing, because some people don't have that vision, you know. So so yeah, I totally understand that. But
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, and I know that another thing people can complain about is not having a large following online because it's something that people tend to fixate on, like having lots of followers, subscribers. You know, it just, to some people, it means the world to them, you know. So, to, I suppose, how how would you grow a large online following online? Is there a certain protocol or method that you have to follow? Like, I don't know, the watch time metrics, or just knowing how the algorithm works. Like, how do you grow a large online following organically? Like, how do you do that? Like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. How do you do that?
Well, your first step is to be consistent.
Mm,
100%. If you post like once a month, are you really going to grow at all?
nah.
Like, you're not really going to grow like posting once a month. So let's assume you're posting consistently. If you're trying to grow on, let's use YouTube because like I understand YouTube better than like other social media platforms.
Mm,
If you're posting on YouTube consistently, you've been posting, I don't know, 3 videos a week or 3 months straight. At that point, your problem isn't your ability to produce videos because you've been producing videos for a while now.
yeah.
It's not your abilities to make quality videos because you've been exponentially improving your skills like by every video you create. At that point, you need to figure out, okay, where can I make micro adjustments to my videos? Can I make the thumbnails a little bit better? Can I make the video a little bit more like entertaining to listen to? Can I tell a better story? Can I give better advice? Can I word it properly? Can I give different examples? What can I do to make my content better? And once you do that, I guess the followers just naturally start coming.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, because authenticity is what attracts people to you. Because if it's one thing that people do not like, it's inauthenticness, it's being fake, it's putting on a facade. And I know that one thing for sure is that when it comes to your content, I know that you're not inauthentic. I know that you're very authentic, which is what most likely drives people to watch you. I know one thing for sure is that when I watch you, I feel like you're a friend in a way, because it's like, you know, the person who I'm watching on video is like, now I'm speaking to this person, so it's not like an exaggerated character that you're putting on for us. It's the real authentic Amaan, which is
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Because people can tell when you're being fake.
Mm,
Well, at least I know I can.
yeah,
When I watch a video,
yeah,
you could just tell that they might actually have gone through what they say they've gone through, but they'll just exaggerate it. They talk in a way that they don't normally talk in. They have all these fancy edits in their videos to make the video more appealing. And at the end of the day, you're only fooling yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. You're only fooling yourself. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, in a couple of my previous videos, I actually used to pretend to be something that I wasn't. I used to sort of put on a facade in a way, but now that I'm doing more, authentic type content, which isn't edited that much, I would say that it's more authentic. I'm finally being my true authentic self, and it's so liberating once you take away that facade, because yeah, people can see right through it, and at the end of the day, it's only you that you're fooling. Because, like, as David Goggins was saying in that interview with Andrew Huberman, right? That 2 hour interview, oh my goodness, it was so, yeah, it was so life changing. So it was good. People often tell you a version of themselves which they're not. They tell you all the things that they're basically not. And then they walk away from that conversation like, oh, like if only I could have told him, if only I could have told her, the truth about me. Because I feel like if we start to do that, I feel like if we started to be more honest and transparent with people, then it would result in a lot more trust when it comes to relationships in general and just in the world. Because it's just everywhere that you go, it's kind of like plastic, like you're living in Barbie land, Life of plastic is fantastic. Yeah, it's kind of like that in a way, and it's kind of sad. But why do people feel the need to be fake? Why do people feel the need to be something that they're not? Like, why is that such a popularized thing? Or just why is it so prevalent?
People want to fit in.
Mm.
People want to fit in.
Yeah.
They don't want to be scrutinized for the person they are.
Mm.
Because if you create this persona of somebody that you're not, everyone can hate you, but it won't really affect you the same way, because you're like subconsciously thinking, they don't actually hate me, they hate this person I've created for myself. And so it's easier to manage friendships, manage relationships.
Mm.
And I just completely lost my train of thought. I had something else to say, but yeah, people want to fit in. That's basically the main one. They don't want to do something that might go against like social norms, or they don't want to do something that makes them like stand out. So they just conform to what everyone else is doing.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I understand that, because in a society where you feel like you're pressured, you feel like, you know, it's just very easy to feel very inadequate about yourself, because you go onto social media one day and you see someone who's got a nice body, you see someone who's got a nice six pack, but little do you know that you're just seeing the end result of years of hard work and persistence. And yeah, I feel like it can, obviously it is very pressuring in today's modern day society to, just to feel like you're good enough in a way. And we try all different things like escapism, yeah. Like we do drugs to numb the pain. We drink alcohol to numb the pain. We watch movies or watch TV shows. But the thing that we don't do is we don't have introspection. We don't sit in silence with our own brains, with our own minds, and just think about things. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it's just quite alarming. It's quite shocking. But why is it that why is it that, I don't know, people don't, well, how do you rectify this issue of this not enoughness? Like how do you get over that in today's modern day society where it's so easy to feel inadequate and so easy to judge and compare yourself to other people?
To be honest, I don't know how to answer that
Hmm. Yeah.
because it's difficult on its own. If you feel inadequate, there's probably a good reason why you feel so. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel inadequate, right?
Hmm.
But there's also the fact that, okay, maybe you are adequate, you achieve everything you want in your life, but you still feel like you're not good enough. So then, like, what do you do? What do you do now, right? So, yeah, honestly, don't know how to answer that.
Hmm. Yeah, I know that's a very complex question to answer. So I totally understand that. But yeah, I mean, we place a lot of our value on the materialistic possessions in life. Like, if I have a nice fancy sports car, that means, I've achieved a lot, so I'm better than everyone. I'm better than a lot of other people, or, earning lots of money or whatever, so on and so forth, right? We place our value on the extrinsic things in this world, the external things. So I know a lot of people are going to say that it's not about the external, it's about what's internal, what's inside that truly counts. But if you think about what everyone else thinks, if you think of the POV of society, they don't see it that way. They see it as what's on the outside counts, the looks count, because within the first 5 seconds of meeting someone, you judge them by their looks, not what's on the inside. So, especially with celebrities as well, but like, do you think like the number of friends or the number of followers you have or how much money you're earning or what kind of sports car you have parked up outside of your driveway, do you think that truly determines the value of a person? Like having money,
Yes and
status, and
no.
wealth. Yeah.
Yes and no.
Hmm.
Because let's say you do have a Lamborghini,
Yeah.
you would have to have been pretty successful to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like no payment plans, no leasing, whatever. You bought the car for yourself, it's yours now.
Hmm.
Having a $1 million mansion, having a big following, people can say it doesn't add any value.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, if you do have those things, you are like high value, like whether you want to disagree with it or not. But at the same time, no, because what kind of people are you actually attracting? When you get a Lamborghini, you're not attracting. Okay, you might attract a couple of quality people, but the people you're attracting are attracted to Lamborghinis. When you have when you have 1 million followers, you're attracting people who follow people who have millions of followers. You're not actually attracting genuine, authentic people.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, there's both. There's like two sides to it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's quite interesting actually, because just as you said, like people who have got Lamborghinis, they attract other people who are fixated on their obsession with Lamborghinis, and you know, people who have got other things like they've got an iPhone, they're going to attract people who have also got that love for an iPhone. So how,
Yeah,
yeah, in a world of superficial and fakeness, how do you attract genuine people in your life, genuine friends who are going to be there for quite a long time? How do you do that?
you stay as true to yourself as you can as possible. And you let their actions speak for themselves, because it's really hard for you to tell if someone's genuine or not. And even if someone is genuine, you have no idea if they would end up like betraying you 20 years into the future, because you truly don't know like their intentions, like through and out. And so if you can focus on what you're doing, focus on you being as genuine as possible, then what you'll find is that you'll attract the people who are just like you, who are also genuine. You'll attract people who aren't genuine too, but you'll kind of have a radar for figuring out, okay, is this person actually genuine or not? Just because you're being genuine yourself.
Yeah. So what I got from that is, to attract genuine people in your life, you have to also be genuine yourself. Whereas there's two sides to the coin, right? So if you weren't to be genuine, if you were to be a fake, superficial person, then obviously that's what you're going to attract, right? Oh yeah, and this is very interesting. Now that we're on this topic of attraction, yeah, I kind of want to talk about the law of attraction, right? I think you knew that was coming. Manifestation. Yeah, because I know that, you know, I sometimes I tend to overthink, and I overthought this situation in my mind for a very long time, and it actually did happen. It was a very bad situation that I didn't want to happen. So that just proves that whatever you think about, whatever you shift your focus on, that will actually manifest into reality. So yeah, I mean, for the people who don't know how to manifest, like how do you manifest the opportunities that you want in life? Because I know it's not just thinking about it, you actually have to take the action towards doing it, right? So yeah, for the people out there who don't know about manifestation, could you just explain what that is, and how to manifest properly?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you definitely don't just shout affirmation in the mirror.
Nah.
Like, I am rich, I am wealthy.
Yeah.
Because who are you fooling? You can tell yourself a million times you're rich, but you're not rich. You're still broke. You still live with your parents. So like, what are you going on about? For you to actually manifest what you want, you set the intention for what you want to manifest, what you want to attract in your life. And you do everything in your power to make it happen. It's not going to be easy. Like, no one said that manifestation is easy. You actually have to put in work. The difference is the quality of work you put in. Let's say you are trying to manifest an A on your exam. If you want an A on your exam, you're going to have to study for it. But the difference is, if you only put it in, let's say you wanted an A on your exam, but you only put in B level of studying, then you're not going to manifest that A. You're only going to manifest a B, or like a B less. You're putting in B level effort. Whereas if you had put in that A level of studying, making it your top priority, then of course you're going to manifest it. There's no possibility of you not doing it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely true. Yeah, you have to obviously put in the action, then you can reap the rewards. You can get the results from that. So yeah, I do believe that to be true. Yeah, it obviously makes sense. Like, you can't just sit there and you think of, oh, I want £10 million, I want £10 million or dollars, I want 10 million. No, it's not going to happen like that. You obviously need to chase after it by putting in the action and doing the work. So yeah. But when it does come to financial matters, I know one of the things that can actually help you to actually gain that wealth is to start a business. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people can make mistakes when they first start out, when they're inexperienced, but how do you necessarily create a successful business? Like, what kind of things do you have to do towards creating a successful business?
There is an analogy I love that I
Yeah.
learned about a year ago.
Mm.
What is the purpose of a car?
Yeah. It's to
And I'm asking you, what's the purpose of a car?
It's to take you places from A to Z.
Right.
Yeah.
So what if I said, no, the purpose of a car is not to go from point A to point B. The purpose of a car is to buy gas, to fill up my petrol tank with gas every week. You kind of look at me like, is Amaan like okay? Like, what is he going off about? But that's the same way with business. Like, if you start a business, the purpose of a business is not to make money. Like, okay, will it make money? Yes, it's going to make money. But the point of the business is not to make money. The point of the business is to be able to help people. What can you do that is going to happen? And that's how you create successful businesses. That's how every single successful business was created. They all found a need in the market, and they found a solution to it, and they sold it, and they made money off of it.
Yeah.
So if you can find a way to fulfill the needs of other people in your business, then that's how you create a successful business. And then the money comes with it as well, which is just like a side effect.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a reward in a way, because you're doing something that you actually enjoy, something that invigorates you. Yeah. So yeah, I know that you were doing a lot of things, Amaan. When it comes to you trying to make money, you were doing drop shipping at one point, selling car accessories, right? And you even tried SMMA at one point as well. So like, yeah, I mean, with those things that you did do, I mean, it was quite interesting, like the multiple things that you did do, but ultimately, how did you figure out that YouTube was your passion after trying all those things? Like, where was the light bulb moment for you?
It was a light bulb moment when I realized that it didn't even feel like work. Something that I can literally spend all my time doing. And it doesn't matter if I made money or not, I will still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because all these different businesses, they work. There's thousands of ways to go up a mountain. You can go up it from the front, from the side, from the back. Whatever path you take, it will take you to the top of the mountain. Whatever business you start will make you successful, will make you rich. But why not find the path that's the most enjoying to go down? And that just happened to be YouTube for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because a lot of people, they have extrinsic motivations, like whether it be like wanting to do this particular thing, not because they're happy with it, because it's going to get them the money, right? And ultimately, they're unhappy with doing that. So yeah, I mean, it's good to find your passion when it comes down to that, even if it isn't making money. But then, if you aren't earning money, or if you're not gaining anything from it particularly, but you are enjoying it, is it still worth it at the end of the day? If you're not gaining anything from it, do you think? Like, if you're not gaining any money.
If you said you do enjoy it or you don't?
You do.
You do?
Yeah.
There's no reason for you not to do it as a hobby.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, for me, I can do YouTube the rest of my life. I could make money from it, I could not. but I'm still going to enjoy it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if it's something like SMMA, where I did make money, but I absolutely hated it. I felt like, okay, I left my job and I just became self-employed. And now I'm like in chains to myself, to my own business that I created that was supposed to free me from the chains of my 9 to 5. So, yeah, I definitely do think that you want to prioritize making money, but you don't want to. Let me rephrase. Let me take that back. You want to find a way to make money that you know you can sustain it for a long period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's really, really good advice that you gave there. Yeah. And yeah. with with the high demand of wanting more, of gaining more, I know that society is going to get quite gluttonous. Society's going to get quite greedy, and the thing that the thing that I find quite complex or bewildering to me is that society doesn't often appreciate your efforts until you're successful. So, I mean, why is it that society won't appreciate your efforts towards working hard at your business or doing this or that, or you know until you're actually successful? Because they won't root for you whilst you're grinding hard, but when you've actually achieved your goals and you are successful and you're well known, that's when people start to root for you. So why don't people root for you during the process of becoming successful? Why is that until you're actually successful?
Or they project their own low self-esteem onto you. It all comes back to self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
If you don't believe you can do something, you're not going to believe someone else can do it either. And so you just automatically assume, oh, this guy, he's just talking a whole bunch of nonsense. He's just all talk. He's not actually going to put in the work and do it. And then a few years might go by and they actually do what they said they were going to do. Now all of a sudden those beliefs are broken. So they're like, oh wait, he actually is capable of what he's doing. Let me actually support him because he's actually who he says he is.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I've experienced this. I am currently trying to work a little bit harder than I usually did in the past, because I was slacking off in the past. I admit I wasn't working hard enough in the past, and because of that acknowledgement that I and my friend had, I don't necessarily think my friend believes in me in a way. So, like, I know that I'm gonna have to work hard. Well, not have to. It's what I want to do. So, I mean, can you change people's perceptions of what they think, or like, do you think that's a good friend to have if they don't believe that you can work hard, knowing that you didn't in the past? Do you think it's a beneficial thing or a good thing to have that friend if they don't believe in you, or if they didn't believe in you in the past, but yeah, they don't believe in you now, knowing that you want to work hard, knowing that you want to achieve your goals? Do you think it's worthwhile?
No.
No.
Because what do you benefit from having them as a friend?
I don't know. Nothing. If they don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you surround yourself with people who think who don't believe in you, then you'll end up not believing in yourself either.
Okay. Yeah, but this gets quite interesting. Okay, so let's say if this particular person is surpassing you, they are surpassing you in money, in physique, working harder than you, and then it feels like you're not meeting up to the standards and criteria of that person. But having acknowledged that you haven't worked hard in the past, and also that person having acknowledged that you haven't worked hard in the past, you believe in yourself that you can work hard, but that person doesn't. Would you say that because you haven't worked hard in the past and this person is surpassing you in money and physique, do you think that it's do you feel like still it's a valid reason for them to not believe in you when you slacked so much in the past, when you procrastinated for so long in the past? Do you feel like it's a valid reason for your friends to not believe in you when you just have a track record for?
Hey guys, so unfortunately we've run into a bit of an error. So whilst I was talking to Amaan for at least half an hour more, or 15 to 20 minutes more, whilst I was editing, I noticed that that part of the interview or the call that I had with him wasn't there. So me and Amaan were talking about other topics, right? And unfortunately, I couldn't get access to that footage, so I couldn't retrieve it or anything. It just didn't go onto my storage. So I'm gonna basically give you a gist of what we were talking about, like the other things that we were talking about. So I asked Amaan whether it's valid to have a friend lose faith in you or not believe in you anymore when you've given them physical evidence or proof of you not working hard in the past, whilst you are trying to work even harder now. So he basically said yes to that. He said that it is a valid point for a friend to not have that belief in you once you've proven to them that you slacked off so much in the past. However, on the other hand, he did say that it's not a very good thing to cut a good friend off because of that. Because from my point of view, you can still support that person and help them to become a better version of themselves. So yeah, maybe I might have another call with Amaan sometime soon. Who knows? But yeah, so me and Amaan had a very interesting chat, and I thank you so much, guys, for watching and listening to us. And I shall see you in another video. Peace out.